Go.
No fate but what we make. Okay. The whole thing goes. The future's not set. There's no fate but what we make for ourselves.
She intends to change the future.
Happy New Year. Jay Mack, where the hell did you go, mate?
Here I am. Happy New Year. Excuse me, by the way, I do have a cough, so I'll either mute my microphone to cough or I'll just let rip and you can all burst your eardrums if you're listening on headphones.
What a shockmaster start to our new year, man. We come in and I'm ready to hit us with a killer promo to begin with, and you're not even there. And my face is all covered in triangles.
You came up yourself. I was like, oh, he must be going to introduce me.
What happened to your camera? Did you turn it off? It's me that has the technical issues.
Aye, I had to go and sort something. It's all good, though. It's all good. I'm here.
Smashing. Anyways, so tonight, on our first episode of the year, a long-awaited Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines. It's not so much a debate. We're just going to go through it. We're going to take each other's hands. We're going to walk up that alleyway, and we're going to see what's what. I believe that it gets too much hate, more than it deserves. So I would like for everybody to reassess that, including yourself, J Mac.
Aye, I have. Let's leave it there then.
Matthewman in the house. Matthewman designed this amazing. What do you call it? What do you call it? The thumbnail for this episode. J Mac, you're off. Hey, are you feeling all right, man? You got a tune in there or something?
No.
Well done, Matthewman. Aye.
In fact, if you give me 2 seconds, I think I might know what it is.
I know what it is. It's saliva. Saliva again.
No, maybe this is just a bit too sensitive. Hang on.
I know what it is.
I shall fix that right now.
Some ASMR saliva right there, mate. No hate here. I loved it. Hey, Janice. Jim, I think you've disappeared completely now. So I did fix it, I suppose.
No, surely I'm still here.
Aye, that's it. Are you here?
Aye. Does that sound better? Not quite as slithery?
Absolutely no background noise whatsoever.
That's what it was. I had the background noise cancellation switched off and the echo cancellation switched off. So it is now back on.
Smashing. Anyways, I've been excited as hell to dive into 2-3.
Yes,
look, check this out.
As have I. What is that?
That's a T800, mate, and it holds your stuff.
Oh my god!
Just
like this film, it doesn't hold up very well. Oh no, Kev frozen disappeared. He did warn me that this might happen tonight because his internet's been been a bit of a bugger recently. So is mine. Anybody else with Sky for their internet? Because it's been pretty shit recently. Not that I want to mention brand names and stuff in the middle of a live podcast, but aye, Sky Internet's a bit pish. So he told me just to keep talking until he comes back, right? I don't know how long that's going to be. And I think if anybody talks to themselves for that length of time, it could be going a bit doolally. Somebody send me in some comments so I've got something to say. How was your new year, everybody? How was it? I've just had a text for Kevin saying, fucking PC. I can hear it in his voice as well. Fucking PC. He will be back. So look at this thing in the middle of my head. Let's try this. My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the north. Husband to a murdered son. No, that's not right. So, new year, everyone. You see my light in the back. Look what I've got. A fucking lava lamp. Got a lava lamp. I didn't even get it for Christmas. I stole it off my son. He wasn't using it, so I was like, I'm having that. However, the wee He-Man next to it, I did get for my Christmas, and it's the second best toy I got. First best was my new guitar, which is just out of frame over there. So, tell me what you guys have been up to till Kev comes back, and then we can get stuck into this amazing film. Yeah. What are your instant thoughts on Terminator 3 for anybody that's still listening to just me? Because Kevin's no working. Well, his PC isn't working. He's always working. So he says. I don't believe him. I think he's talking shit. This is normally when he comes back and goes, I'm not talking shit. Oh, man. Where are you? Where are you? What's funny is that even though he controls the whole thing, if his PC fucks up, it still works. That's weird. And he's back. Oh,
Aye, of course.
he's all raging too.
Skynet does not want this to happen. I'm actually so fucking pissed off with my fucking box of a PC. Do you know what it is? I think I've just done so much on it that it's dead now. It's time to upgrade. But I need to do that really soon. Aye.
How long have you had that one?
Where did you get? Quite a while. Quite a while now. A long time. To be fair, I've added to it, but I really need to. The show desires a lot for me to run it through everything I'm running, and it's no keeping up anymore. It's dying a death. Some may say the Terminator franchise died a death, but we're going to discuss that today.
We shall. Ow, I bit my cheek there.
Hopefully, no. But I'll go back and get a screen of it so far. So by the way, before we talk about Terminator 3, it would be remiss of us not to talk about Terminator and Terminator 2 and the legacy that they have, thus leading on to Terminator 3. So Terminator, right, obviously came out and was what it was, which was groundbreaking, which was the first really of its kind, and was so smashing that they thought it could never be beaten. Then skip ahead a couple of years, and Terminator 2 comes out and absolutely goes. They say, "Oh, there's no such thing."
Oh no! Oh no! Has that happened again? I don't know, Kev. Can you run this off your phone? Oh man, I can't do these solo podcasts. Remember that's how Kev started out with the Kev and whatever podcast. It was just him sitting talking into a microphone for probably about 25 minutes, half an hour, just with any stuff that came into that Kev head. But unfortunately, we're not getting to hear any of that right now because I can't see him and I can't hear him. It looks like he's doing a jobby, just the way he appears on the screen now. Don't know if it's the same for everybody, but aye, yeah, there's me back again. Oh, Jesus. Right. I'll take a break till Kev comes back. Let's see how we go.
J Mac, where the hell are you, mate?
Yeah, still here.
Hi. I have to jump on my laptop because my PC is. I'm actually going to throw it to the window. I actually just kicked it. It's probably smashed now. So.
Oh.
Um,
Well, I couldn't talk to myself any longer, man. It was freaking me out.
did you actually just leave the show just like actually running with nothing on it?
No, I did tell the
Ooh.
audience that I was taking a break till you came back.
Well,
But
ladies and gentlemen, this is what the Jibber Jabber podcast would be like if I wasn't on it.
just the Nun podcast.
Apologies.
The thing is, it's funny that your wee laptop can do this with no issues.
This laptop's brand new, so this one is like heavy set out to do it, but I can't run everything through this because I've got so much tech. How are we hearing me? Are we hearing me all right?
Yeah, fine.
Just look a bit ski with. I might plug in a microphone as we. And I'm using my laptop camera. Pardon me. So it's a bit weird not having the two screens and whatnot, but we shall go with it anyway, right? We shall go with it. So I was saying that Terminator 2 essentially is like, that's when Arnold said, "Hold my stogie," and they basically just owned what, when someone says you can't make a sequel as good as the original, this was the standard. Apologies. No, I'm malfunctioning. Would you agree with me, J-Mac?
100%. I mean, I think I haven't checked it recently because all I've been looking at recently has been Terminator 3. But I think the Terminator 2 IMDb score is higher than the first one, which is pretty rare.
8.6 is the second one, and I believe it would be great to have all my equipment to hand to check this. but I believe it is. It's like a good 10 points of a difference.
It's 8.1 or something. I think it's still pretty high. But 8.6 for a sequel is effing good.
Yeah, absolutely. Matthew, it may just be the angle, but you're looking fucking huge. I've been working it. I'm just kidding.
Your hat looks huge. Aye.
Definitely the angle. No, I'm closer as well because my PC's behind this, but closer than I would like to be. All my notes are. I mean, I've got my notes here, but fuck me, man! What a start to the new year, eh? What a start to the new year.
Fan dabby dozy, mate.
That's what happens in the mothership, eh?
Your camera's actually a similar quality to mine for a change, so that's quite nice.
Fair play. So Terminator 1 and 2, right? Here's my thing with the third one. I think everybody shits on the third one because Terminator 1 and 2 were so groundbreaking, and if you were ever going to stand a chance to live up to either of those, you would have had to have had James Cameron in the mix, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you take him out of that and you say Terminator 3 is on its way, automatically there is a sigh everywhere. Right? I was watching the end scene for Terminator 2 today, actually, where, I know now why you cry, but it's something I can never do. Heads down into the lava. And the first comment was, and the sequel should have went in there with him and all.
I don't know. I think you're starting off on a wee false pretense here, I think, because I know that you are a big fan of Terminator 3.
Well, I like Terminator 3. It's not. I don't think it's like, oh my god, Terminator 3 was the best thing ever made. I know it's got its problem, right? I know that, but I think we're being too harsh on Terminator 3. I think we're being far too harsh on Terminator 3 because, like what the aforementioned here, is that it was doomed from the beginning. Why? Because, well, I'll tell you why. There's many reasons, right? So the cast, right, for it to stand a chance, we had to have had Edward Furlong, Linda Hamilton, Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? The fact I'm saying these three names to you, right, you're probably sitting there going, right? Does that not, saying those names together, does that not give you, like if I said to you right now, J-Mac, they're rebooting Terminator again, right? And it's properly starting from Terminator 2. And they're bringing back Furlong, they're bringing back Hamilton, they've got Schwarzenegger, right? What would you be saying?
I'd be really concerned about Edward Furlong, to be honest.
Why?
I don't know why, man, but I
think he's doing all right now.
I don't think he is, man.
Is he not?
No, anything I've seen of him recently, he looks like a, I don't know, let's say looks like a lollipop woman for Shettleston.
Oh, poor
If
Eddie.
you happen to be watching this and you're a lollipop woman for Shettleston, I do apologise.
Or
That's
Edward
not
Cullen.
that's not a recent picture of him, by the way.
No, I went for one of the better ones.
Go and bring up one of the really, really good recent ones.
No, maybe later on. Hood up, now, no, what I look like right now with my hood up. Brian's more for the life of Brian.
He's a very naughty boy. I can't believe the first time I watched that was for this podcast. I can't believe that.
I can't believe that either. What a bad one. So with you rewatched Terminator 3. I rewatched it again, then rewatched it with the commentary, then done the documentary, then went through the storyboards, then went through the making of the game. I've binged everything for Terminator 3, so I should be pretty up on my knowledge here for T3.
I think so. I think you might actually be outdoing me on this one, like, because I just watched the fucking thing.
Wait, on the next week's show, Eddie Furlong. every time.
Eddie, you're looking better.
Skynet shut. That's right. Skynet did shut me down. I didn't get it. PC works any other time. When I wanted to do a beasting podcast, boom, did again. It is probably AI fucking with me.
Let's go with that.
Yeah. But hey, if you can hear me all right, and I don't look terrible, or I don't look as bad, you can hear me still fine.
I mean, you can tell it's not you're sure that you're coming through, but it doesn't sound bad.
Are you sure?
I'm very sure. Unlike you.
You sure? No. I could plug it on, but I'm not gonna.
Mate, I'm fucking sure, right? Like somebody's just came in to see Kevin as well.
Where?
Somebody just came in to see you?
No, I was actually looking around to see if I've got, and I've got other microphones I could use, but no go any. I'll just keep it like this. I'm going to overcomplicate it before it all goes tits up. Yeah, somebody stole a mic out in my cupboard. Why am I missing? Oh no, it's upstairs. Bye. So I rewatched this, trying to dislike it deliberately, just so I could kind of feel the same as everyone else. And there are things within it that don't make sense, right? And I'll give it that. It's set 12 years later, right? So it's 12 years later, and John Connor's like, my mom's dead, so I went off the map because I didn't feel right. Judgment Day was supposed to happen. Now, I've got a question for you, J Mack, and a question for everybody at home watching. Whether you're listening to us live or in the archives, let us know. jibberjabberscotland@gmail.com. Right? But let us know, because I would like to know the answer to this. So say Terminator and Terminator Judgment Day are the only Terminators that exist, right?
Mm-hmm.
In your mind, did they stop Judgment Day in Terminator 2?
Yes.
So for you, if they had never ever made another Terminator, they finished it. There was never going to be a Judgment Day because they took down Cyberdyne, right?
Yeah.
Aye. So I wondered that, because I did kind of feel that way as well until Terminator 3. It was, Arnie says, you cannot stop Judgment Day. You only postponed it.
Yeah. I wish they'd postponed Terminator 3 a bit longer.
Well, 12 years.
Was it 12 years between them? Was it 2003?
12 years, aye.
Right.
That's correct.
I mean, there was actually, there was quite a long delay between Terminator 1 and 2 because they wanted to wait long enough to make sure that they made something worthy of the original.
Yeah.
And so you'd think by waiting even longer, they'd be thinking the same thing, trying to make something worthy of Terminator 2. But
Matthew says,
no, James.
No, because the Terminator still existed in the past. But even though the Terminator still existed in the past, right, it then destroyed himself. There's one more chip. Yeah?
And
He
it must
destroyed
be destroyed
himself.
also.
Aye.
Mm-hmm.
The arm went in, the other chip went in, so there should be no Judgment Day. So Arnie, by the way, upon doing my research, right? So Edward Furlong was in fact supposed to play John Connor, right? He got the part, and then to celebrate, went out and got absolutely shit-faced, and ended up in the media, and then got sacked.
Aye, that was clever, wasn't it? Maybe he can tell us about it when he comes on next week.
I know. So he was actually supposed to be on. He was supposed to be, right? They got rid of him, and then they opted for Shane West.
Who the fuck is that?
That's Shane West.
Is it I? Who is that?
Who's Shane West?
Never
Shane
heard of him.
West. Shane West is an American singer and songwriter. He is known for his portrayal of Eli Samler in ABC's drama Once Again. You can Shane West. Who are you?
Easy.
Shane West.
We all ken Shane West. Even me, who has to look it up while I'm off screen to see who he is. Is he on next week as well?
Probably. So Shane West.
All right,
was
Shane, love your work, mate.
But after the director Jonathan Mostow, after he had met Wee Nicky, he was like, "Nah, that's my John Connor." So they recast, not Shane West because he never got the part, but they recast Eddie Furlong with Nick Stahl, purely based on how burst he was, which is a shame. Matthew says, if they stopped the war, how did the Terminator get made, then go back? No, well, that's like a wee paradox thing, isn't it? He got made, comes back, and the events of the past alter the future, which is basically Back to the Future, right?
Yeah. This
Then
is
he
where
shagged him
it's really hard to play with time travel. Like even the best time travel films, like for example, Terminator 2 and Back to the Future, have got these paradoxes in them where something doesn't make sense somewhere down the line. Like Back to the Future. How come when wee baby Marty grew up, they didn't recognize him for the 50s? And
Wait a
also,
minute. Did I not really do it? Did I not really do it?
it's like surely George should have been a wee bit suspicious that he's surely been copping off with Calvin Klein. Do you know what I mean?
No.
It's like he looks awfully like that Calvin Klein boy, by the way.
I know. Pretty funny. Pretty funny.
Excuse me.
Lee
Sorry.
says was on ER. Lee knows who Shane West is. He was on ER. And we have an M-Laz. Nice to meet you, M-Laz. Hello, what do you think of the actress who plays TX? Do you think she did well? Kristana Loken. I think.
And the slight chance that that's actually her asking this, I'm going to say she was fantastic.
Well, she was. She was fantastic.
I need to look at. Damn.
There was like 10,000 other actresses that they auditioned, but they went for her because she moved like a machine. That's what they said, you know, because she had it down to a fine art and didn't have that. Like, I mean, if you're gonna get a first female Terminator or Terminatrix as they call her, it's gonna be her. You know
I don't know,
mean?
man. I don't know, man. With the tone of this film, they could have done it with Roseanne Barr, and it would have been better.
That would have been funny. She was in Flintstones, eh? Not
What's
Rosie
that?
O'Donnell.
That was Rosie O'Donnell. Roseanne Barr was in Roseanne.
That's right. She was sound.
Oh, I like her. She's mental.
From my own days. Do you know they did have other options? Schwarzenegger wanted to cast Xena herself, the WWE princess. China. I know. For everybody, I'm very aware that this is not Xena, but she always put me in mind of Xena. Joni Lauder, which is in WWE.
I've got a wee thing for both Xena and China.
I can imagine.
Right up my street.
So Eddie was initially cast and then sacked. Linda Hamilton was approached, and Linda said, "Here, lads, I've done what I need to do. Right, Sarah Connor's done her part. Like, there's no really much more that she can add to her story arc. So I'm going to politely bow out to this one, which is quite something, isn't it?
Do you know what? Well, how cool would it have been if they'd cast her as the TX? That would have been fucking cool.
John's Ma. That would have been smashing, man. That actually would have been class.
I've just written a better film in the last 3 seconds.
Well, do you know? See, when I first watched Terminator, there was a couple notes that I took, right, of me recalling what I thought when I very first watched the third Terminator. First thing was this: oh my god! You know, in that back where Kristanna Loken, the TX, gets into the wee convertible car after saying "nice car," rips the clothes off the last, and then she goes onto a mobile phone. I remember looking at that mobile phone, going, "Oh, a Terminator film that's up to date with all the tech." Obviously, watching it now, I was like, "Holy shit, that phone is old!" Right? But at the time,
she dials in on the dial up. Super.
I know. Why get half a dial so I can get on the phone? But here's the thing: at the time, I remember looking at that going, because bear in mind, I was like Holy Grail Terminator 1 and 2. I'm sure I've got like 7 different copies to hand. I've always got a couple of copies of Terminator 1 and 2 to hand. Like, and that's like, I've got them on so many different editions, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, I lived by these. These were Holy Grail VHSs in my house. I would watch them on a Saturday just for the sake of watching them. Like this. So see, when I heard there's another Terminator coming, I was like, who's it going to be? I was waiting.
Did you not say that you never knew another Terminator was in the pipeline? You just seen a teaser trailer for it when you went to see something else?
Well, here's how it was for me. What I'd always heard, oh, they're making a new Terminator. But came that way, it was like, well, they said that a year ago, said that, and you're like, oh, shut up. You know what I mean?
Mm.
There are. I heard it so much that I got sick of listening to it. So then I didn't put any stock into it. I thought, okay, went to see Johnny English, right? I'm sitting there in the cinema, just like that, waiting to see Johnny English. The trailer's hit, and I see this. Can you imagine how I felt? Purely based on there are no other sequels. This is all I have, right, to compare it with, and seeing that on the big screen without any prior knowledge. Who you fucker? I was like, I could have just went home because I didn't need to see Johnny English now. I'm not even going to think about Johnny English the whole time I'm here. I'm off, mate. Yeah, can you understand the absolute fucking like what? And the fact that they had the liquid metal, I was like, where are we going with this? Because I knew nothing of it. I knew nothing, and it was only after that then I started seeing the TV spots. I was like, oh, it's a female, and she's the TX, which is again another upgrade to Robert Patrick, who was, by the way, a hard act to follow.
Aye, too hard. They shouldn't have bothered. Like I would rather just have another version of the T1000.
Do you know what's mad? Do you know what's mad? Is they never ever, like, through all the Terminator films, and we're going to talk about some of them as well through this, you never see him in any of the future Terminators. Like, you always see the Arnie, the what's his name? What's his name again? The
T800.
No, what they actually call him is Sergeant William Candy. Ha! The Terminator. Right?
I'm Master Sergeant William Candy. I was honored to be selected by CRS.
I was howling, right? But the thing is, come on, you got to thank Terminator 3 for that one.
It's me.
Right? But you see that prominent through all the Terminator sequels, right? But it's like we never actually saw where the T1000. Like, where are all them in the future? You know what I mean?
Well, you do get it again in Genesis.
That'd be funny. Ron Atkinson going, oh.
He shows up and he knows that there's no way for you to escape, and he's going to get you, and he just goes.
And he goes, no, I'll be back.
I like your gun.
I know. Yeah.
I like turtles.
So I was sitting there watching, like, just to feel that again. Like, see when you say, "Oh no, I'm making another Terminator," now I roll my eyes, right? But to go back to only having these bad boys in the universe, right? And then seeing that trailer, that teaser, knowing nothing about what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
That's a magical spot to be sitting in. I think that's one of the main reasons why I'm like, fuck y'all, leave Terminator 3 alone. Leave Terminator alone.
Leave Terminator 3 alone because it had a really cool teaser.
No, I think a lot of Terminator 3, a lot of my bias, and I'll admit it, a lot of my bias is because of what it was and what it meant to me, really. We're coming off the heels of Terminator 2 Judgment Day, none of these films I was even alive. With a 1991, so I probably wasn't even alive on the date that came out. So I'm having to wait till at least 6 before I've seen it, right? And this is my first taste of getting a Terminator film made while I'm alive.
Yeah,
I'm a huge Terminator fan, mate. That's a huge thing. So that to me is, you know what I mean? That was my servant of the Terminator.
I go back just as long as all of the Terminator films. First one came out in '84, so did I. And then
You came in '84.
What's that?
You're like, I came out in '84 and all.
And then 1991 we get Terminator 2, and then I had an appetite for it as well. I don't think I ever seen that teaser. I think the first time I seen that was when you showed it to me, maybe a year or two ago. So, but when I heard that there was one coming out and I seen a trailer for it, I was like, oh, cool, finally another Terminator film. So I went to see it with all the glee and high expectations you may expect for a big fan of the first two films. And when I actually seen it for the first time at cinema, I didn't leave the cinema raging thinking it was that bad. But I think it was one of those situations where, kind of like people did with Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull, where they tried to convince themselves it was better than it was because it was an Indiana Jones film. And then over time, they just finally admitted to themselves that it's fucking crap. Having rewatched Terminator 3, I don't think it's as bad as I thought it was yesterday, but it's still shit. The lack of memorability of it. Is that a word? The lack of memorable moments and memorable scenes is horrendous.
Oh, come on, top to the hand.
Exactly. But I mean, just to like opening titles. First one, second one, epic opening titles. The first one's quite simple. You just got the letters crossing over each other with that fucking iconic music. The second one, you get the iconic music again with the imagery that's not dissimilar to what's right behind us now, with the swing park and everything on fire, and it's really epic. This one, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Terminator 3, next style. It all comes up as the film's playing. There's nothing to really get you excited about it, and you've got Nick Stahl narrating it like he can't be arsed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's no grabbing me. Plus, what happened to John Connor between 2 and 3? Because he's thick as fuck now.
I know. I felt that Eddie Furlong, as John Connor, like, it was a street smart, wise guy, you know? And he wasn't stupid. He was never stupid. He could always, like, he was training the Terminator, essentially, right? And then in the new one, he's like, you don't remember anything? It's like, motherfucker, did you not see the T-800 going into the lava?
And then he questions him as well. It's like, so do you guys just come off an assembly line? Aye, that's fucking...
You knew that.
You knew that. So yeah, plus obviously his motorbike riding skills have obviously diminished over the years as well. Because he managed to outrun a T1000 on a motorbike when he was 13. Well, 10.
I know.
And then in this one, a wee deer pops out. Ah, fuck!
It's true. Here.
So yeah.
What do you think then? Are we putting this all on Jonathan Mostow? Like, is he getting the blame fully?
No, I wouldn't put the blame at his door. Who wrote it?
His wee buddies, his college, the guys he went to college with.
All right, no, it's kind of his fault then. He shouldn't have been pals with him.
Well,
but
I wouldn't blame.
Sometimes you just can't make the film that everybody expects. So he done his best, done the best he could with the material that he had, and like I said, it could have been worse. But I didn't really like Nick Stahl. Nick Stahl is good at playing a bad guy. He's good at playing a bit like an antagonist because he's got a bit of a crazy look in his eye. But I don't think he was right for John Connor. When they made him up to look old for that very brief future scene, he looked like a fucking Thunderbird puppet. I just wasn't happy with his cast in general.
Do you know? I've got in my notes right here, and I'll just show you. Right, see the lassie. Right, so see Claire Danes' character, Catherine Booster. I couldn't get used to that, by the way. Right,
that's stupid.
But I've got a wee note here. I've got a wee note here I took, right, about her fiance Scott. Let's see if we can get to it, right?
So it looks like.
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
I would say he looks like a guy that sells drugs at kids' parties.
Right. His name is Scott Mason, which is funny because that's my cousin's name. That's why I'll forever remember it, that was his name.
What about all the other stuff he's been in?
Yeah, old Connor looked like Spotswood from Team America.
A Thunderbird. So, potato. I said he looked like a Thunderbird, so potato.
Ah, fair play. So I thought her fiance, who by the way, she wasn't that arsed about it. Catherine was getting married to him, wasn't even arsed about it.
I know her dad says like I just can't believe this is happening. She's like, oh, you're not the only one. It's like, well, just kick him to the curb then. Even like even when he cops it later on, she's like, we tear, and then right, fuck it.
She's like, I want to bump you, John. I'm the leader of the resistance. Well, you're getting bumped.
Oh man, there's stuff about the relationship that we'll talk about as we go on. But
the lack of chemistry.
Fucking hell. Less chemistry in that film than there was in a physics class, man.
Well, my physics class, there was no chemistry. Why?
Exactly. That's why I say it's a physics class. It's not a chemistry class. It's not a chemistry. It's a physics class. No chemistry in physics. So when it went to the future, like for that brief moment, and then it shows like a dream sequence with the machines coming in, and it actually looked pretty cool. But I really missed the practical side of it because it was completely CGI for the machines coming in.
There was some good practical. Colin Walker says the best thing about T3 is the image of Arnie carrying the coffin with the machine gun. That was cool as hell. That was even turned into action figures.
Yeah, but even that, I mean, if that's the best thing about the film, that's a terrible thing.
By the way, it wasn't all CGI because some of the machines were actually made by Stan Winston.
Yeah, I know, but no for the scene I'm talking about. Every single moment in that is CGI.
Which part?
When he's just before he wakes up after dreaming about the Terminator staring right in his face. Right at the beginning. Way at the beginning. Because I'm still talking about the beginning of the film.
Right, okay.
So that totally CGI, and I missed the practical side of it. Just Stanley Loken comes in, like I said, absolutely lovely. Right? There's no denying that. They lit her so well as well. The caterpillar's making love to my face.
Paul Peters says Jay looks like a caterpillar making love to his face. Do you know Paul Peters?
No. No.
To the show Paul Peters.
and that's fine if I understood what he meant. So she arrives on a deserted street, and the one person that's out there happens to be her size. was like, well, that's
I
pretty
know.
convenient.
On a deserted
why-
street with that.
I mean, why did she put her hair up like that? She looked cracking with the hair doing, and then she gets that angry mum do after getting changed. I don't know if she was the woman that she stole the clothes off of, was her hair like that? I can't remember.
Aye.
But I thought it kind of spoiled the look a wee bit.
She was kind of
and
adapting it.
the
Weird that the
inflatable
street was
boob
empty.
thing. It's like,
Yeah, you wouldn't be raging if that could be done in real life.
well, I bet me would be.
How?
Raging.
Ah, yeah, sorry.
I can't believe I had to explain that.
Because I'm not using my usual setup. That's what it is. Aye. Well,
so
we
where were
got a lot of returning characters, right? A lot of our returning characters, like Mr. L. Bowen himself.
For 3 seconds.
But it was still better than nothing. We got Big Brown Schneider, right? And by the way, do you know that they also toyed about with having Vin Diesel being the baddie this time?
Yeah,
Did
I
you-
did.
Also, did you know that Sophia Bush was actually cast and started playing Kathleen Brewster, but she was pish, so they had to cut her, and they very quickly, brought in Claire Danes as our backup.
The curse of the time travel films. She got Eric Stoltz. That's what happened.
Pretty much, but they didn't make the full film. Other possible Catherine Brewsters were other initial TX ideas were Peter Wilson, Jerry Ryan, and Carrie-Anne Moss.
Jerry Ryan, I would have argued with.
Carrie-Anne Moss would have been quite class, but I think it's too playing too much on her Matrix character, like kick-ass.
Possibly. Head to toe in leather. Yeah, probably. Jerry Ryan, I mean, to be honest, you could switch her out with Kristanna Loken and nobody would fucking notice. Excuse me.
I think Kristanna Loken was brilliant for what she'd done. And you know as well, see, when I went back to check all the press that she'd done, right? I'm going to say this because it's true, right? But see, I think we've come on the last 10, 20 years where it comes to talk show hosts. They were all just randy wee disgusting bastards back then, eh? Like, she's going on to promote Terminator 3 and all they can talk about is her tits and ass and her being naked. It's like, I understand that, like, women have a right to complain about that shit. I don't think it happens so much more now, right? Because the questions have a bit more substance to them, right? But I was kind of shocked. And when you go back 10, 20 years, look at a lot of the female interviews of very talented actresses, and they're talking about, they're just really talking shit to them, like a piece of meat. And I think that's
or even if it wasn't that, it would be stuff like, what do you like to cook when you're at home? It's like,
aye.
Shut up, mate.
It was just basically Jay Leno perving over her and her mom. They showed a picture of her like 50-year-old mum, and he's like, "Oh, I would." It's like, would you say that to Arnie?
Oh no, but I'm just going to look up what her mum looks like.
You're going to look up what Arnie's mom looks like.
Yeah, I mean, if
mate, you've got some hate in the comments tonight. This Paul Peters really coming for you.
Paul Peters.
Aye.
No idea.
Is that a pseudonym?
No idea who he is.
It's probably Skynet, an AI bot sent to put you down. I'm not going to bring the comments up because they're quite nasty.
No, bring one up.
Okay, which one?
Pick one.
I'll give you. Jay probably eats alone at a strip club. Jay is creeping me out. Bet he jacks off to horror movies. And then we've got, I wonder if J Mac asks Santa for a nutsack for Christmas.
He's hilarious, man. He should do this for a living.
I bet it's someone you know.
Yeah. I don't think so. I don't know any complete cunts. But
you do. You just probably don't know about them. Aye, Paul, reveal yourself. It's probably just Skynet. Here, By the way,
He must be
You're not the
handsome.
only-
He's got a picture of koala bear as his profile picture.
you're not the only one that gets hate on.
Your koala bears
podcasts.
have got chlamydia.
That's where it comes from. Yeah, listen,
Power. Who the fuck does Kevin Wells think he is? Just shitting all over for my drawing power. Who the fuck does Kevin Wells think he is? Just shitting all over my drawing power.
What was that show, by the way?
It was a Kenny Bolin show. So Kenny Bolin was a big he had a big part to play in John Cena's role of, starting out and Batista and all this. He's no longer part of wrestling, but he has a big following online. And I just went online basically to say that his co-host was better than he was, like more entertaining. Just a wee bit of constructive criticism. And then he read it and
Who
said,
the fuck does Kevin Wells think he is? Just shitting all over my drawing power.
and he'll forever now be a part of our show. Class, just proper. Had I go at us. So we got the returning characters, right? Which were of course Arnie. We had Earl Bowen, albeit for not a lot of time. And I do think having Sarah Connor and Eddie Furlong would have been something else. But we also got Claire Danes, because she's this new character, Catherine Booster. What did you think of the Catherine Booster?
I thought she as a character was all right. It was a poorly chosen name.
Catherine Brewster.
She was all right.
I mean,
Whatever happened to Claire Danes as well? She just kind of fell off the face of the planet.
did she?
I've not seen her for ages.
I know she done the Romeo and Juliet film, didn't she? Was that her? Her and Leo. Was he?
Yeah, it was. Aye, that's the first time I've ever seen her.
Yeah. She said that she would, because by the way, both her and Nick Stahl were asked to come back for Terminator Salvation. Then they said to Nick, actually, we don't want you because we want John Connor to be in his late 50s. And then they hired Christian Bale, which made no sense. They also reached out to Claire Danes to come back for Terminator Salvation. And she said, thanks, but no thanks. Terminator 3 was harrowing enough. I don't really want to return to that, but all the best.
Did you find anything out as to what made it so harrowing for her?
Just it was a lot. Like to her, it was a lot physically and probably not what she was used to. It was a Terminator film, isn't it? Probably the whole getting swung about and thrown about the whole time. She also, Kristana Loken, get this, right? Get this. Kristana Loken sent a picture of her naked self from behind to the director to show that she was all bruised.
Oh, I'm sure he was gutted to get that.
I can see all these bruises. You got to send me one in higher def. But she was bruised to hell. She worked her arse off as well. I think they all really worked their ass because people, the perception of this is that Arnie didn't want to do it and he half-arsed it. That's not true. He did get everything he wanted out of it. He got 30 million, right? He got 1.8 million to spend on private jets. He got limousine at the ready of his whole time on set, right? For him and his crew. He got top hotels for him and his crew. Basically, he took the absolute piss out of it because he was like this. He was like, I'm not doing he basically says, I'm not doing another one without James Cameron. James Cameron said to Arnie, the Terminator is as much yours as it is mine. Go do it. Just ask if you're really not that keen on it, ask for an insane amount of money. And that way, because basically they needed Arnie in order to get it greenlit. They were not getting their funding without it. So he was like, okay, I want this. So he basically wouldn't budge on what he asked. And they were like, okay. So what was it? I've got it written here. So the budget for this was 187 million, right? And 30 million of that was straight away for Arnold. It was 1.5 million on jets, limo all times, top hotels for him and his crew. The film actually opened and went straight to number one with 200 million. So they already, and by the way, the 30 million came, and he would also get a percentage of the revenue after it broke even. So basically from day dot, he's had a portion of the revenue and still continues to collect on that.
I think he got 20% on it. There's a lot.
Worldwide, its gross to date is 430 million. So anybody that says that was a flop, those figures don't look like a flop. It's just perception. So it came in at number one, and it came out at number one because we know why it came in at number one, because of its predecessor.
It's always more impressive if an original IP comes in at number one.
Yes. Well, this was obviously wasn't the case, but he also put 1.5 million back into the budget because the crane scene, right, would have taken them over budget and over time. And Arnie was like, "We're not making this movie without that scene." Yeah. So he put his own money back into the film. So anybody that thinks he half-arsed it, not the case at all.
I mean, that scene for me was one of the better ones in the film, where it was all real. It was all happening, pretty much. It was enhanced by some CGI as opposed to being entirely made up of CGI. And I was quite enjoying it until, like, I even liked the bit where he kicked the ambulance over. I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. And then the truck's coming towards him and it knocks him off the end of it. And we just fucking Roadrunner moment, eh? Like, it's like, dong, and then you just see it swinging, it's going, eh, eh. It's like, oh, come on. They just cheapened the whole bit.
There are a few moments in there where it's like, go round the back. When he walks up naked to the gay bar, it's like, go round the back.
He's like, nah.
Matthewman says, but the pedals, it doesn't make any sense that the TX is able to move pedals, seeing as pedals are not controlled by anything electronic with any type of network, and she connects to a network, right?
Right, for the remote control car bit.
Yeah. Explain that shit.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, probably back then the accelerators probably still worked on cables. So that's pish. Unless she could use some kind of targeted electromagnetic field to control them.
Fixed it. Matthewman, you've not got a point now. Max fixed it.
Just a guess. But I'm getting, it's the caterpillar on my face keeps whispering in my ear.
God dang. Besides, a new character was the Catherine Brewster. Also, John Connor is like, I'm living off the grid. Breaks into the same place twice.
Aye. Also happens to bump into an ex-girlfriend. I think living off the grid, you'd go a bit further away than nowhere.
I know. And by the way, did you notice the gas station is the same one from 1 and 2?
I never noticed until I read it just before coming on here. I never noticed it, no, but I did read about it. Did you notice it, Kev, or did you read about it?
No, I didn't notice it, but when I went back and rewatched it after knowing it, I looked at the gas station and went, doesn't look a fucking thing like it. So I would never have noticed. But it is the exact same gas station used in both. I like that. I like the fact that they put that. I also like the fact that Arnie looks as close to Judgment Day Terminator as he could.
Oh, aye. I mean, did you notice that he had exactly the same measurements as he had for the previous film?
Aye, mental, eh?
Did you notice it? Did you read about it?
Even though they're reading about it, though, like...
you can tell.
You can
he was in his... He was, I think, mid-50s, like 54 or something when we did this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if that was the standard for how to look at 54, I am fucked at 40.
Nah,
especially with this caterpillar on my face.
There's a Matthewman somewhere coming into this.
I just don't get the joke. I don't get how it's meant to be funny. Well, I would understand if I had like a unibrow or something. You know what I mean? But I don't.
I think. But when you're not really good at slagging folk, you just make stuff up like that, right?
Aye.
What did you think of the chemistry between Claire Danes and Nick Stahl? I felt it lacked a wee bit.
It wasn't the best.
I don't.
But sometimes it must be really hard to judge when you're casting how good chemistry will actually be when it comes to making a film. Like it might work well in a casting room or with a wee quick screen test, but then you start making it and you're like, oh. This isn't even
I kind
working
of
quite
felt,
well.
that it was Nick Stahl's fault.
I mean,
Yeah.
excuse me. I don't know. To me, I mean, maybe getting Edward Furlong to play that back then would have been a better thing, because he is a bit of a kind of mad junkie at the beginning. Maybe he could have got clean as the film went on,
She even
along with
calls
his
him a junkie.
character. Aye, who's she talking to at that point, by the way? She's like, junkies. Nobody there. Nobody there. No talking to anybody. She walks in and talks to the dogs when they start barking. Then she's through the back when there's nobody there. She's like, junkies.
Matthew says, I probably went too deep into this movie last night. You and me both, pal. I didn't get to sleep till 4:30 in the morning. Well, that's what time I saw, so it would have been after that I went to sleep.
What time did you get up?
Today about 10, because it was actually not that bad, because I had nothing on for the first time in forever. So that's
For
not
the
bad, eh?
first time in forever.
What were you expecting when Terminator 3? Like, so you see that teaser, right? I see the liquid metal, so straight away I'm expecting to see Robert Patrick again. What were you expecting?
Robert Patrick. Aye. I guess so. Maybe I didn't think about it that much, to be honest. It would have been cool. But it just wasn't. It wasn't to be. I mean, it was a female Terminator. We were getting a female Terminator, and that was it. So,
and that was before everybody tried to turn him into female. So that's when it was like cool to date. Before it was forced that you had to date. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. I think Schwarzenegger was a wee bit woke in this as well. Like, he gets offended at being misgendered. So,
but he's not got a gender.
Mispronounced. No, they called him a robot. He's like, I'm a cybernetic organism. It's like, get it right. I'm a Z-Zism.
No, I think the thing about Terminators has always been heavy female led. You know?
Aye. Yeah.
So I don't know. But I think it was quite cool. Like, as soon as they say, oh, the baddie's gonna be a girl, I'm like, oh, class. It was at that point where it's like, well, they're obviously doing this for creative reasons, not because they feel like they have to tick a box. And that's when it's accepted. You know? That for me.
I don't hate the idea of the female Terminator. I just think some of the stuff she did was really fucking goofy. Like I mentioned it before, the dialing in at the internet on the phone by going. Also, why did she look shocked when she discovered John Connor's blood? I didn't understand that.
So is she not more advanced to the point where she does show emotion?
But why would she have? She wouldn't have any reason to do it in that situation. There's nobody to emote to at that point. There's nobody there. So I don't understand that. Also, why would she like? She's not just there to get John Connor and Catherine Brewster. She's there to get anybody that was kind of high up in the human resistance. So she goes to she gets that Jose guy at the drive-through and his brother and sister. Excuse me, his brother and sister. I didn't say his. This brother and sister, William and somebody, and she keeps she'll show up and then ask their name. And before killing them, but she'll also scan them. She'll scan their eye, the facial recognition and retinal scanning. It's like, why not just do that? Why are you talking? That's for the audience. That's for stupid people. Like, there's no need for that to be there. And even Schwarzenegger did it. Catherine Brewster. But to be fair, he did it in the first one. But it was a lesser model in the first one, so he wouldn't have been able to do
he's not updated.
He is updated. He's a T850, but he's not quite where she is. But I think her asking the names of these people, I don't understand why she had to do that. But that's me.
Not only that, but she definitely let a couple moments go where she could have done folk in. Like when she's disguised as fucking mad rapist Scott, like. She could have just went up and killed Catherine. But instead, she's like, I'm going to show you who I really am and give you a chance to run.
Aye, like 90 feet away. That was a bit stupid. Also, any time that anybody really important was to get killed, fuck it, I'll just throw Just throw the person. Well,
Yeah.
close enough to strangle, crush a windpipe, squash a skull. Nah, just going to throw him into a car window. Get some distance between me and him because that's the best way to kill somebody.
I felt that it could have been a bit smarter. Matthew says, I hated the I like your gun.
I
Aye.
like your car. I like your gun. I like turtles.
I find it quite hard to believe, though, as well, that Saga just died of leukemia. It's like you're tougher than that. Do you know what I mean?
Also, she held on for 3 years. So she probably had leukemia in Terminator 2. Based on that. Because
No,
Terminator
there's
2
no
was Terminator 2 was set in 1994. She died in 1997.
That's right. Aye.
So she fought it for 3 years. So exactly at that time. So basically, after Terminator 2, not only was Judgment Day not stopped, Sarah Connor caught leukemia the next day.
Fuck. Well,
I bet a shit show, eh?
Aye, a bit shit for fucking Saga.
Too many off-screen kills in this film, by the way.
Aye, yeah.
What's that all about?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know in this here country, it's a 12 certificate, but I'm pretty sure in the US it got an R. It got the anybody under 17 must be accompanied by an adult certificate. And I think it was if it got an R over there, that's really harsh. I actually think that was probably done over there to try and make people think it was going to be as interesting and possibly violent as the first ones, and it just fucking wasn't. It just wasn't. There was one kill in it that was pretty cool, but it was a bit Freddy Krueger.
Aye, through the car.
It was exactly Freddy Krueger, actually. So I say it was cool. It wasn't the original.
Anyway, what I'm quite shocked at as well, at no point does anybody stop and go, damn, to like she gets no attention for looking how she does throughout the film.
The only person that gives her any attention for being hot is herself. I'm not even kidding. There's a bit kind of towards the end of the film where she's in the middle of trying to kill folk, and then she sees herself in the mirror. She's like, "Oh, nice! Look how hot I am."
Aye. Like usually within that type of film, you would get someone that would be like, they would just say something to her. Eh?
It's like even the cop at the beginning should have been like,
looking you ticket.
Damn. Aye. But it just goes right. MM, do you know how fast you were going? She's like, I think you're gone. And he's like, what? And then he's dead, apparently. Never see it.
It all happened so quick. So quick.
Yeah. I can imagine that's
The
what was
concept,
happening, you know.
The concept of Rise of the Machines was great because we always Judgment Day was always something that we'd heard about. We'd only seen snippets of it. It is incredible though that these things are now rising in Skynet, and they're destroying things, they're shooting, and they don't go for the plane that they're going to take to the bunker. Also, there is a point where a wee drone comes towards them, it fires a rocket right through the window into where they are. It goes into the bathroom and blows up. They're all right.
That missile,
kind of rocket.
I think it was a paintball. Honestly, it was fucking like it's quite a threatening looking missile when it's coming in. Then it comes in and just kind of goes. Actually, do you remember did you ever see Downsizing with Matt Damon?
Yeah.
And right at the end, there's like this big explosion going to happen, and they're all trying to get away from it, and then it shows you it actually happening, and it's just like. But because they're tiny, it was really quite scary. But it takes you away from their point of view right at the end, and it just shows you this wee. I'm like, that's what that fucking missile was like. Downsizing got a bad rap, by the way. It was actually a really good film.
I don't remember it, but I remember watching it though. And
it was maybe the same guy that made Sideways, which is one of my favorite films. So I probably gave it more leeway than it was due, but I loved it. I thought it was class.
I felt that made no sense that rocket, because I've seen Judgment Day and Terminator 2, and it looks horrific. Yeah.
Mhm.
The whole holding onto the fence, the kids' play park. That
Oh, wait,
wasn't
no,
what I saw.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about the wee missile that comes into our dad's office just as he's
Aye,
kicking the
that's what I'm
bucket.
saying.
That
Yeah,
one.
yeah, that's
Aye,
what I'm
that,
saying.
right.
I'm saying that was feeble. That doesn't, because essentially what Sarah Connor sees as Judgment Day, the Vision, in Terminator 2, that's essentially what we're living in Terminator 3. So how's that wee missile blow up just the bathroom when Sarah Connor watches everybody turn to dust? Do you know what I mean?
Well, that was they weren't firing nukes at that point. This was just a kind of seek and
Yeah.
destroy everybody at that base sort of thing. But I would still expect a bigger explosion than that. I've seen better fireworks.
I've seen better farts. I've
Excuse
seen
me.
farts cause more damage. So that
What
didn't
about
make any sense.
What about that aeroplane fart I sent you earlier on? We could have stuck that over Terminator 3.
Didn't act like you even knew that was what that was until I pointed that out.
Nah, but somebody want to hear it? Do you want to hear it?
Go for it.
Hang on. I won't show the video because
Because you're
it's hard
naked
to
in
see
it.
with the camera and my microphone. Excuse me. There we go.
Well, it's been a while, sunshine, but here we go, back to reality. Well, it's been a while, sunshine.
Right.
But here we go, back
I'll
to
do an impression of a plane. Right,
Do you know it's funny? I laughed when I heard it, and then I messaged you saying that sounds like Indiana Jones running for a plane that's kind of heading down behind him. And then you sent a voice note, and I thought that's gonna be him laughing when he realizes. And I clicked on it, and you were just—it was that I've just realized that laugh.
for the audience at home, I'll let you hear it right now. So, I totally got it.
Totally does sound like it.
It does. It does.
You should start your own Foley fart noises. So it's like your farts then do the sound to different films.
Have you noticed that they've been using the same fart sounds in films for years?
Aye. So
Like for fucking years they've been using it. And there's this one that goes and you hear it all the time. All the time.
Ginny says classy.
Putting the ass in classy.
So how do you feel that Terminator 3 holds up now after you watched it again?
It's very clunky. Some of the special effects are pretty funny looking. Like the fight in the bathroom could have been cool, but it just looked so fake that it took me right out of it. The bit was like she kicks his fucking head off and he puts it back on. It's like she didn't unplug his head. She snapped it.
I know.
And he still managed to just put it back into place. If they'd called back to it later on and like during a fight it just kind of fell off again at some point. Yeah. If they kind of acknowledged the fact that his head was fucked, I would have forgiven it. But it was just like cartoonish as hell, man. I hated that. Excuse me. The whole thing about Sarah putting in her legal will to have these guns stored in her tomb. There's so many legal issues with that. I wouldn't even want to fucking go there. First of all, I would say that most of the weapons that were in that coffin were probably illegal. They're not going to have safety on it, so to have that involved in a will would be a bit risky. How much money did she have? Because to get a tomb like that, to get I don't even know what you technically call that thing.
Mausoleum.
That's the word. Mausoleum. To get one like that would cost a shit ton of money, and with a nomadic lifestyle that her and John had on the go, I don't know where she's got all this money from. So that was fucking stupid. That was stupid. And I think the film it looks too clean. Like there's no grittiness to the film. It looks like a film for the early 2000s where everything's too crisp and colourful, and that takes me out of it. It makes it almost cartoonish. And The one thing I did like was the ending. I liked the fact they went with a grim ending because that's a brave thing to do back then. Up until then, like most endings of films were pretty rosy, with the exception of things like Seven. Do you know what I mean? But everybody expected a happy ending. They would stop Judgment Day, and that would be it. But they kind of called it. He said earlier on, he's like, "No, Judgment Day is inevitable, so it doesn't matter what we actually do; it's going to happen." But you'd at least think they'd maybe manage to postpone it again, and they never. So I actually liked that. That was the bit of the film that I actually liked, was the fact that they were brave enough to go, "Nah, humans are that shit that we're actually going to do this to ourselves."
But not only that, though, like something like Judgment Day. How bad is Judgment Day if a fucking junkie, right, and his missus or his ex-missus, since rekindled, are able to stop it in about 45 minutes? Do you know what I mean? They should never have been able to postpone it. Sarah Connor and John Connor, I get, right? But no, I know these two. Dafties. Especially when I don't even really see Nick Stahl as John Connor. I can't. For me, Terminator does end at 2, but I do accept 3. Another thing as well, like, does that door shut at the end when he blows up the TX? Because it's still open and they see the shrapnel and all that. So where does that sit?
I missed that. I would need to rewatch it, which I'm not going to do. So,
well, he's like, "We will see each other again," right? And then he runs and then he grabs the thing, he pulls it back, takes his wee thing out, shoves it in its mouth, explosion. The whole mountain kind of falls, right? But the door was wide open because he was holding it up.
But they're way underground at this point anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
I hope there was food there because I saw no food.
I had that question as well. I really had that question as well. I was like, not one fucking Heinz beans 10 inside, son.
Absolutely nothing sitting there. I was like, what?
And let's talk about let's talk about one thing here. Why did this film make so many attempts to be funny? Terminator and Terminator 2 had extremely limited moments of humor. Terminator 1, I don't think there's anything funny in it. Terminator 2, you've got the "I need a vacation" line and a couple of moments where he's learning to be a bit more human. This one, it just seems to be full of really shit gags that if it wasn't Arnold Schwarzenegger pulling it off, you would dismiss it straight away. The whole talk to the hand thing, the fucking sunglasses. The fact, mate, the Terminator spends this whole film in a stripper's outfit. Those leather trousers he were wearing were tearaway. They'd have been Velcro up the side.
Tearaway.
Whose fucking idea was that? Whose idea was that to have the Terminator wearing a fucking stripper's outfit? And by the way, there's no way that stripper was a match for Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No,
not a chance in hell. The guy at the door was closer.
Maybe they thought this. Well, it's what, 2003. Who still wears full leather?
Bikers.
But they've done that.
I know, but it makes more sense than a fucking stripper.
Biker.
Do you know it'd have been really funny if he wore that stupid hat for the whole film as well. He shows up with his the star-shaped sunglasses on and that wee leather fucking beret. He's like, Catherine Brewster. It's like, aye, who sent me this?
Who's calling?
It's not my birthday.
It's like Catherine Brewster. Don't move. Dang, 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 dang.
So where are we going? We're going to stay at the
YMCA. Aye.
So I'd say I think it was a competently made action film. I think it was a terribly made Terminator film. That's where I'm at. And I think that's fair. What's that?
Have you changed your mind a little?
Changed my mind a little because I didn't have a terrible time watching it, but it's not a good Terminator film. It's just a decent action film.
I'll give
That's
that
it.
to you. I'll give that to you. Right. Before we wrap up, I do also want to mention the sequels, right? To Terminator 3, which direct sequel set many years later, Terminator Salvation.
Much
which
better
was a
than
great
Terminator
film.
3.
It was a great film. I felt that it didn't have to be a Terminator film, though. But it was quite good to see it during, during the war. Then after that, we got Genesis, which was like taking the Terminator franchise and just fucking throwing it into a Rubik's Cube. It didn't really make sense, right? Had some fun shit in it, right? Wasn't keen on the new Sarah Connor by Emilia Clarke. So Terminator Genesis, I'm like, like I can live without it, right? Terminator Dark Fate. Motherfucker, you got a problem with Terminator 3. Terminator 3 is far better than Dark Fate ever will be. That fucking useless. I'm never buying that on Blu-ray. That can get fucked, mate.
I disagree.
Can get absolute fucked. Mate, they undo Terminator 2 like that. John
So did
Connor,
Terminator 3.
it didn't really undo it.
It did, because it made it clear that Judgment Day was inevitable.
Yeah, but everybody that's like John and Sarah go through all Terminator 2, fucking badass, right? Just for what? Oh, there was another Terminator that kind of just sat it out in the wings waiting for you to get to this wee island so it can go and blow a hole in your chest, just like that. Nah, sorry, but nah.
It was a way to make you go, what the fuck?
Nah. With a bad Terminator was stolen. That'd be pretty good. Get this. I could forgive that if it wasn't for the scene that really made me go and take this Terminator film and shove it clean up your fucking flaps, right? And it was in the back of the truck, and they're like, obviously John Connor's dead, and she's like, maybe I'm the one. Maybe I'll give birth to the savior of humanity. You don't need to give birth to a man. Fuck off with your shit, man.
There was a fair bit of that. Even though the entire franchise up until then has had strong female characters, it felt the need to really ram it home. But like, mate, I guarantee it was the only way it could get funding. It had to have some.
They made Sarah Connor like a secondary. I'll just sit here while you all fucking do your shit, right? Sarah Connor's literally on that fucking van, and you're talking. You don't need a man. Get fucked. Her son was the leader of the resistance. Who do you think made him into the man that he was to be to fucking save the world? A fucking badass
Germans.
Fuck aye. Schneidel. It was though. It was. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
talk about
I get it.
To fucking get fucked. Terminator Dark Fate can go and ram itself up every fanny that fucking made it. Go fuck yourself, Terminator Dark Fate.
I liked the what was her name again? The Dolph Lundgren looking lassie. I liked her. I liked her character.
Good actresses, but not. Aye, the Dolph Lundgren looking lassie.
I did.
Makes sense, man.
It makes zero sense.
Also, why send back only one? Obviously, they didn't end Dark Fate. Do you know what I mean? There could have been smarter ways. Like, fine, fuck it, let's just kill Sarah Connor's mum then. Do you know what I mean? They could have played this out anyway, and yet they didn't ever seem to learn. They always. And who sends them back straight at the same time?
Hey, could you imagine anybody tried to make a film where a robot got sent back in time and burst into a hospital delivery room and just shot a mum? It's like, that's the end of the film, man. You can't make anything exciting about killing pregnant mothers. Well,
if you really want to do fun, that's the
aye, you could Deadpool it. Like Deadpool just went back and killed Hitler as a baby. Sorry, can I say that word on here?
We'll find it in the morning.
Aye.
I'm sure the episode will be pulled for the intro anyway.
I was going to say multiple copyright infringements and the mention of. Mate, I was going to say something else there. But I'm not going to say what it was, but it rhymes with Le Pura.
The Führer.
I was going to say that, aye, but you did know, so well done.
That should be fine.
There's another Iron Sky film coming out, by the way. Have you seen any of the Iron Skies?
I've got one, but I've not watched it.
Mate, the first Iron Sky is actually really good fun. I haven't seen the sequel yet, but there's another one coming out, and it's got Adolf Hitler riding a fucking T-Rex. I am all over that. Like,
Pretty much on that.
he walks in and goes like, "Guten Tag, motherfuckers."
We'll need to watch that with Matthew, man, because I watch along. Has to be done. Has to be done.
Excuse me.
So it has been redeemed a little, Terminator 3, with age?
It's went for a 4.5 to a 5.
That's something, mate. I think it gets a bad rap, but for what it was,
Out of 10, by the way. Sorry, out of 10. Just clarifying.
Fair play. I still will watch it with glee. As far as I'm concerned, there's Terminator 1, Terminator 2, then maybe Terminator 3. The rest, Dark Fate, I'll accept. Genesis, that was just like somebody on acid making a Terminator film. And Dark Fate was just wee arseholes with stuff shoved up their arse making a film.
I think they could skip Terminator 3, give us Salvation, and leave it there. Anybody else agree?
They asked for Nick Stahl to be in that. And then they said no. So it was a possibility. Claire Danes and all.
Nick Stahl wouldn't have had the star power to bring it
Nah.
to full fruition.
They also wanted him to be like aged 50, but then they hired Christian Bale, who doesn't look 50, but they got the star power there.
Exactly.
I liked it. Another Terminator film. If we were to get another Terminator film, for me, it would have to take off after 2 or 3. I am no arsed if it follows the vein of Dark Fate. Go fuck yourself. Or Genesis. But it'd be interesting to see what the next Terminator installment is going to be. I've heard a lot of rumors that The Rock is taking over. He's doing that. Pardon me. And apparently remaking Jack Frost. Stop remaking shit. Fucking hit up with something original, man.
Jack Frost, the Michael Keaton one or the horror?
Michael Keaton one, of course. Don't need a remake. It's class. Leave it.
Leave it alone, girl.
Leave it alone. Mate, just fucking leave shit. Do you know, I messaged a distributor for, it was actually Disney, because I've booked in this film called Poor Things, which looks class, right? And he said, "Oh, we're getting a good feedback on it. Thanks for booking it in." And I says, "Do you know what?" I says, "I'm fucking so glad to see you hitting me up with something original, because I'm fucking sick to fuck of these remakes, and so is everybody else." And even he's like, "I only just sell the films that get made, but I get what you mean." You know what I mean?
Well, that I heard that the Wish has absolutely tanked.
It's no tanked. Wonka's kicking ass right now.
Hang on a minute. Wish cost $200 million. And to date, it has made 209.5.
For a Disney film, which used to be 60% of the market.
They spent 200 million to get 9 million back. It's going downhill. They need to get back on track.
They have, but the problem is this: they've sacked all the non-workers at Disney, right? But the problem is it'll be about 2-3 years since we see what they're working on now. So we're still getting the backlog of all the shit. Yeah, because they've got to distribute that. Because
I don't even hate the remakes that they've done. See, like the Beauty and the Beast and Lion King. I actually like them. I mean,
it's all right. I love Lion King.
I think they do get a bad rep. They are basically shot for shot the same films again, so it's a bit of a cheat. But I still enjoyed them. It's what was the last good proper animated Disney film that I seen?
Coco.
Coco was fantastic. Moana, I've never been arsed with. Inside Out was really good.
The second one.
Second,
Inside Out.
What's that called? Back to Front?
No, it's called Inside Out 2.
They should have called it Back to Front. Disney, hire me. I'm here to help.
I'll put a word in for you.
Thanks
That
very
would have
much.
been good. Matthewman says next Terminator should be a wee dwarf. Dude, that'd be funny. They would never see that coming. Stop putting the rock and stuff. Correct. Outside in.
a wee tiny T1000 called a T500.
T and a half.
Woman's tea.
Tea with one sugar. That's quite funny. So it'd be pretty epic. So it'd be good to get something original.
The Tiny Nator.
The Tiny Nator. Oh, Matthewman, you need to make J Mac as a Terminator, but as mind how you made him a wee dwarf. You need to put his body all in proportion and everything, but just give him the eyes and half a skull face. Call him the Teeninator.
Oh, that's right. He turned me into a wee Mexican dwarf. I remember that.
I've still got that picture on my PC that's fucked. No, it's all good. So I'm glad we revisited it. I really am. We need to do Terminator 1 and 2 deep dive, but all that'll be is us just foaming at the mouth going, it was so class, it's so class.
We need to bring back the deep dive. Bring back the deep dive with the deep dive format. Those were really good, man. I enjoyed them.
I mean, that's what we're doing now essentially, but it's a wee bit. This one was more of a showdown to try and rejuvenate the love for T3 that does not exist. Terminator 1 and 2. Can I watch the end of 2, mate? It's one of them. No, I'm not getting in. So just cut it off after he goes, I know now why you cry. Off. That's it finished, lads. That's it finished.
Aye. So yeah, that's it done, kids. Oh, Dad, what do you see what happens? Oh, Danny, I'm going to agree.
Hey, one thing I'll say to you is this: Brad Fiedel talk about like any great successful fucking film has a beast in soundtrack, and I think his music is as much of a part to play with the Terminator success as the story.
I have here a conversation between myself and Brad Fiedel.
Aye.
Yeah.
From when?
Started on the 29th of May 2021.
Ah, yeah, I remember that.
Mr. Fiedel, I and my co-host Kevin have a YouTube channel and podcast growing in popularity that we would love to have you on to discuss music in movies. Your unconventional style and your unique perspective is very interesting to us. Would you be interested? If not, please tell me to piss off. If so, just say hello. Love your work. Reply. Hi, Jay. Taking a break for interviews for a few months. Thanks for your interest. Please try me again sometime. I was like, fucking hell. Brad Fiedel just messaged me.
Yeah.
I said, thank you so much for your reply, Mr. Fiedel. It's very much appreciated. I will definitely get in touch again. Take care. I replied again. Hello, Mr. Fiedel. Hope you're well. That rhymed. Didn't even know. I'm a poet and I don't know it. I'm just checking in again to see if you may yet be interested in a podcast interview. I've been listening again to your T2 soundtrack, and it has been my drive to work soundtrack for the last 2 weeks. It just seems to get better and better as time goes by. Best wishes, J Mac. Fuck off.
Aye, that's going to happen to me as well. With my most recent.
Just to get a reply was nice, though.
I know. I chased Fidel as well via email. Hee-haw. But mate, the stars always align for us, right? Then you fucking worry, mate. We could always get Stu Arnold on. He's the closest to Arnold Schwarzenegger we know, right?
Aye. If they ever make a Terminator. I mean, I'd love to make the Terminator. Just a big toe with a die on it.
Hey, by the way, the new Arnie Classic is coming back to the UK.
Yes.
I don't know if you know much about the ins and outs of that.
Yes.
Do you? Do you know what happened?
Yes.
You don't really, do you?
No.
So the
I know they tapped Stu Arnold.
So the previous one was under management, but he went to jail for 3 years. So
why?
Long story short, but from my understanding, do you know those an audience with events.
Yeah.
They bring over Mel Gibson. They bring over, well, the guy that runs that overcharged a lot of people. Blah blah blah. It's like they sold like 300, 400 tickets at fucking 400 quid each, right? But made it really impossible for the guys like Mel Gibson to stay there all day. So they're contractually agreed to do this amount of signing. They've done their signing. They've done their meet and greets. From my understanding, people like Mel Gibson were like, "God, that should have been finished 2 hours ago. What the fuck?" So they were like, "Look, I'm 2 hours over my time. I'm going." And then there's like fucking 200 people still going, "I paid for a fucking hanging," right? So there was a ton of that, right? Then it turned out that he was actually bankrupt. The boy was actually bankrupt and started a business. And it looks like there was, again, no facts here other than what I've read.
Is this all allegedly?
Well, it's allegedly, but he's in jail for it. So
Leave it there. Just leave it. Allegedly.
So allegedly, he his stance is, I was a guy that was on my knees. I wanted to have a better life for me and my family. I didn't do anything wrong. I donated a lot of money to charity. The money I did make, I did use for good, right? And he seems like a fairly positive guy. But on the other side of that, a lot of businesses and a lot of investors and all that were like, wait a minute, you know what you made out to be, and you shouldn't actually have a company because you were bankrupt and blah, blah, blah. So what happened is Arnie was like, boom, switched to another couple of folk, and they're now bringing it back, right? But they're bringing it back. The thing is, they're calling it the UK Arnold and all that. Arnold's not even there. He's not even there.
That seems a bit misleading.
Right?
Allegedly.
So it's all a bit tits up. And to be honest, even the guys that are doing it right now, like, you couldn't. Why would I buy a ticket to go to an Arnold festival where you can meet Eddie Hall and no Arnold?
I'll go to the Eddie UK festival. That's what we'll do.
Right. So I believe that we Stu didn't get his invite back because it's under new management now. Yeah. So
well, if at first you don't succeed, just toll again. Anyway.
Aye. Well, it's been class, man. First episode back. We're back next week. We are waiting on a guest. Just waiting on him responding to me. Been Brad Fidel'd a wee bit. But I'm just waiting on him responding to me. And once he responds, we'll have a really good guest on for everybody to enjoy. But in the meantime, we'll keep doing what we're doing. Hope you all have a good start to the new year. I need a new fucking PC. Anybody let me know if you want to donate one. Fucking hell.
I'll tell you something, man. If you see if you've got a decent credit score, just jump into Curry's. Buy now, pay later. Pay up in 9 months so you could get yourself
I could, but I don't know. I think I'd rather build one, so I'd have to buy the parts all separately in that. Because you can go to Curry's and you buy one for, like, say, 900 quid, but you can build an even much more beasting one that will last you forever and do so much more for about 6. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that is 100% true. I'm not going to argue against that. But for making it affordable quickly, cannot argue. I just bought a new TV in the same method.
Aye, mate, I probably could afford it. The only problem is my wife.
Hey, she bought a dog without telling you. Go and get yourself a fucking PC.
She did tell me. She did tell me, but you're right. I supported her in getting a dog. She supported me in getting. I need a new PC. This podcast is my being. It's my fibre. So I'll definitely.
She'll let you get one, man. I wouldn't worry about it. Just talk to her, man. Make her a wee cup of tea. Even buy her some flowers. Tell her you'll spend. Tell it the £5 that you spent in the flowers, you'll knock it off what you were going to spend on the PC.
Do you see the best for mate? Fucking bust my ass, kick my fucking ass all year round. I'll get myself a fucking PC. I didn't ask fucking no one.
I smoke my stoggy wherever I want.
Okay. Look at you. You'll hide in the kitchen. Damn right. Class.
Right, sunshine.
Matthew, is the dog insured? Yes. Also chipped though. No. Right, lads, it's been fucking class. I've really enjoyed revisiting Terminator 3. Let us know. Contact us via jibberjabberscotland@gmail.com or just simply smash us a wee DM via our social media. And hopefully I'll get my shit together. My PC will be sorted, and we can have a great episode next week. What are you going to show us, J Mac?
I just want to do a wee plug here for this great little movie-based board game that I got for Christmas. Played it twice already since Christmas, which is quite impressive for a board game.
Yeah.
Clipology.
Oh, I've got that. I've got that.
Great game, man.
I've not
Absolutely
actually played
brilliant.
it. Oh, I've got
Get
quite a
it
few
played.
games.
Get it played.
Well, I do
really
have
good
that.
fun. Really good fun.
Aye.
Just wanted to
will, I
recommend
will.
it. Not a sponsor, by the way. Not a sponsor. We don't have any fucking
Yes.
sponsors.
We do, but we just never plug them.
Aye. Oh, speaking of which, Surfshark, go get it.
We'll go get it. 15% off Jib Jab, I think.
Thanks for our messages, Lucas.
I had no way. He's always like, guys, she's all right.
Take care, buddy.
Exactly. Right, lads. Catch you next week. Go and enjoy the rest of your night. And here's to everybody's Monday back to work. And we'll see you on the flippy.
We'll be back.
Dum 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 dum.